Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise, and today I'm going to be bringing you my current Sword and Shield build. Build, armor set, mixed set, whatever you prefer to call it, it's really not that important. I call them builds because it feels a little bit more universal, but you can call them whatever you want. Now, I realize that I've been doing a lot of weapon guides here on the channel, and I haven't really been doing any build videos to follow up on those weapon guides to give you guys an idea as to which armor skills I prefer using for which weapon. That has caused a lot of you guys to ask me on a lot of those guides, Rurikhan, what build are you using, what skills are you using, and in some of those weapon guides I do bring up the topic of skills, but I just feel like those guides in and of themselves are already just so massive that to add armor skills on top of that, I feel like, you know, people by the time they reach the ending of one of those guys are like, dude, just get me out of here. I'm just going to go swing this weapon at the mech at the Tronodon, the training area, see if I can repeat some of the stuff that Ruri's done, right? So I'm going to be doing build videos for each of the weapon guides that I've already made, because for each of those guides, I already made a build for that weapon so that I could actually play the weapon and whatnot. So I'm going to be posting some of those over the next couple of days, as well as more weapon guides as time allows, because, you know, the further we move away from weapons that I've played before, the longer it's going to take me to do those guides, because, you know, these are weapons that I don't tend to use that often. But anyways, all that stuff aside, I want to make sure that you guys understand one thing, and that is, when I'm looking for which armor skills I want for a specific weapon, I'm not necessarily looking for the mathematical most optimal way to deal the most amount of damage in the shortest amount of time possible, okay? I'm not a speedrunner. I'm someone that just enjoys hunting at my own pace, and when I look for skills, I'm looking for playstyles that seem fun. That is my objective when I'm working on a build for a weapon. It's like, what's going to be fun to do with this weapon? So keep that in mind, because I'm not going to be... There might be a couple of situations where I'll bring you the usual critical eye, weakness exploit, critical boost, and whatnot. But in a lot of the builds, I don't think that's what you're going to be getting from me. And in this build, that's definitely not what you're going to be getting from me. So just keep that in mind. But having said that, if you'll notice the gameplay footage, you'll notice that the weapon is still very, very effective, and at the same time, very, very fun to play. So, let's start by talking about the weapon. The weapon that we're using in this build is the Gnashing Flammenzucker, or however you're supposed to pronounce that. This is the Anjanath Sword and Shield. The reason I picked this weapon is twofold. Number one, look at that raw damage. Isn't that some sweet raw damage? Now, like I said, I'm not going after the meta, but I do like dealing damage nonetheless, right? So we got a decent amount of attack. We got some blue sharpness. I believe if you put handicraft on this set, you might even get the white sharpness, which might also be very good in terms of dishing out some more deeps. We got some decent amount of fire in there as well, which means that this weapon is going to be very effective against monsters that are weak to fire, as is the case for our Gosarag here in the gameplay. But you guys look at all this and then you go like, yeah, but Rurikhan, that negative affinity in there is leaving a really bittersweet taste in my mouth, dude. Like, you know, you got all these things, but then you got that negative affinity. Yeah, but that's the fun part of it. See, I'm actually looking for weapons with negative affinity if they come with the ramp-up skill, Brutal Strike. Now, what Brutal Strike does, for those of you that are not aware, is basically whenever you have negative affinity, if you do an attack that is triggered by negative affinity, that means that your attack deals less damage than usual. If you do one of those attacks, which is a 20% chance on this weapon, there's also another chance to instead do a Brutal Critical Strike, which basically deals 200% damage, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it deals a lot more damage than a regular critical strike, which is like 125% more damage on the regular crits, which can go up to 140 if you get critical boost. But, you know, a critical strike from Brutal Strike is significantly more. So you still get the effect of dealing a critical attack every now and then, just not as often as you would with Wex and Critical Eye and all this other stuff. But you still get it. And at the same time, it frees you up to basically get other skills, because you're not going to want to make up for negative 20% affinity, so you might as well go for something else. So that's what I did here. Now, let's take a look at the armor that we're using in this particular set right here. And what we have is Mizotsune Helm S, Mizotsune Mail S, and Mizotsune Braces S. You guys are like, why are you using Mizutsune armor? What are you pulling off here? And the reasoning is each of these pieces gives 1 point in Resuscitate. Now, Resuscitate is a very different skill from what it was back in Monster Hunter World. Now, in Monster Hunter World, Resuscitate was essentially a tier 1 decoration that you could just put on any piece of armor pretty much, and it would reduce your stamina consumption whenever you had a blight on you. It would also increase your evade window or something like that. Resuscitate here does something completely different, and that is whenever there's a blight on you, it is going to increase your attack, and it can go up to 3 points. So 1 point in Resuscitate is 5 attack, 2 points in Resuscitate is 10 attack, 3 points in Resuscitate is 30 attack. So basically, these 3 Mizutsune pieces are telling us every time that I get an elemental blight on me, or any kind of blight on me, I'm going to basically be dealing plus 20 attack. Not 20%, plus 20 raw attack, okay? Which is pretty damn good. One of these pieces of Mizutsune also comes with Bubbly Dance, which might come into play later. Then we have the Rathalos Coil and the Hunter's Greaves. Now, like I said, I'm not going for, the meta stuff, but that doesn't mean I still don't want to make damage, right? So Rathalos Coil comes with 2 points of attack up, and Hunter's Greaves also comes with 2 points of attack up. The cool thing is that they also come with tier 2 slots, which are very, very useful. Then on the Petalace, we go for the Demon Petalace because, I want to deal, I still want to deal some damage with this weapon. And then we have a charm that gives us 2 Razor Sharp. That's just because, sharpness is always an issue, so 2 Razor Sharp is better than no Razor Sharp. I'd rather have 3, but I don't really have the gear to get all the skills that I want, and on top of it, 3 Razor Sharp. So we get 2. 2 is better than 0. This is what we're working with. Now, let's talk about decorations. Now, when it comes to decorations in this set, on the Nashing Flamenzilke, we have an attack jewel and a blaze jewel. On the Mizutsune helmet, we have an attack jewel and a blaze jewel. On the Mizutsune mail, we have a blaze jewel because we're basically increasing the fire damage. These blaze jewels are not super important, so you can replace them with something else if you want to. But basically, the idea here is this is a fire weapon, might as well increase the fire damage a little bit with these tier 1 slots that we have here. So, it is what it is. Then we have another attack decoration, and on the Rathalos Coil, we have a Bubble Jewel. On the Hunter's Greaves, we have another Bubble Jewel, and on the Fatal Tempest Talisman, we have a Brace Jewel. Now, the Brace Jewel is mainly for multiplayer, so if you equip yourself with a Brace Jewel, then you're ready for multiplayer. If you do not have a Brace Jewel, then you're going to get staggered whenever you're playing in multiplayer. If you're playing solo, however, you can replace this Brace Jewel with another Blazing Jewel, and that will give you +4 fire attack instead of +3. So what do we have when we add all of this together? Well, we have attack boost level 7, resuscitate level 3, fire attack level 3, bubbly dance level 3, razor sharp level 2, and then a bunch of skills that just come from the armor pieces that are bonuses. Although windproof is actually decent. I don't know how many wind attacks will be able to survive, but still, it's better to have a little bit of windproof than none. Stun resistance is whatever, and wide range really also is whatever. Free meal is actually can come in a pinch every now and then. You might get a free potion, and obviously flinch free, which we kind of like slotted for. Now you guys are like, okay, so what's the deal with your Resuscitate? Are you expecting to get blighted a lot? The deal is Resuscitate is going to combine with Bubbly Dance, which basically what that does is it gives you the debuff from Mizutsune. How does it work? Well, if you have 1 point in Bubbly Dance, you're going to be resisting Mizutsune's Bubbly Dance a little bit better. If you have 2 points, you're going to be resisting it a lot better. You're basically not going to be sliding all over the place whenever you get like big Bubble Blight debuff. And if you have 3, you get the Bubble Blight debuff whenever you dodge 3 times in a row. Now that is really, really good because Bubble Blight counts as a blight, which can trigger Resuscitate. I almost feel like this is one of those, back in the days where I used to play Magic the Gathering, which was a long, long time ago. I don't even have any more cards now. I got completely out of that. But you'd have like cards that would work off each other. This is a perfect example of that. So Resuscitate is going to trigger from the Bubble Blight. And because of the fact that the Sword and Shield is one of those weapons that I personally tend to dodge a lot with, I don't even have a Veda Extender on it because I feel like I don't really need it for Sword and Shield. But, I dodge a lot with Sword and Shield, whether it is for positioning myself or for whatever reason, I tend to dodge a lot. That's going to trigger the Bubble Dance. What the Bubble Dance is going to do is it's going to give me Bubble Blight, and on top of it, it's also going to increase my evade window, which is pretty good because I always liked having evade window on my sword and shield back in Monster Hunter World. So I dodge, I get the blight, I get evade window, and on top of it, it triggers resuscitate, and I get plus 20 attack. That's kind of like the point of this. And then on top of it, you already have maximum attack, and every now and then, you're going to get one of those brutal strike crits that's just going to deal a crap ton of damage, which makes this a really, really, really fun build, in my opinion. Now, in case you guys are wondering in terms of switch skills we're using here is drill / combo, sliding / Umetsu Shoryugeki. But really, you can do whatever you want when it comes to switch skills, because this build will work with whatever switch skills you want for the sword and shield, so it's really up to you at the end of the day. Anyway, that is the build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. If you do enjoy it, hit up with a like. If you don't enjoy it, hit up with a dislike. Feedback is important, although considering what happened in the video that I recorded for this, I'm sure that what a lot of you guys want to know is, Rurikhan, what the hell are you feeding your palicos? They're savage beasts. Yeah, I've been working on my palicos quite a bit before I got them to this point. Might do a palico video later if that is something that you guys are curious. Although I'm not a palico expert, this is just something that I put together because I like having monsters constantly getting CC'd, and these palicos allow me to achieve just that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the video, comment section. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you usually enjoy my content, subscribe, bell notification icon, all of that stuff. And peace out.
Top 10.